Hello and welcome to Yoga with Elizabeth. When we think about yoga and stretching, often we think about the larger areas of the body, maybe our legs, maybe our shoulders. But in today's short 5-minute practice, we're thinking about those smaller areas of the feet, the ankles, and the wrists as well. They might be small, but they are very important, and not only in yoga, but in your day-to-day life as well. So all you're going to need today is possibly a blanket to sit on, and that is it. Make yourself comfortable. And we are going to start in a cross-leg position. And we're going to take one foot and bring it up onto the leg, if that's okay. If not, we can just leave the foot on the floor. And all we're going to do is just give that foot a little bit of care and attention, just giving it a little bit of a rub all over the sole of the foot, up the sides, into the heel, into the ankle as well. Now, if you've ever been to see a reflexologist, they will have told you that each part of your foot is like a map for your entire body. So whichever part of your foot that you are massaging, then that will be a direct correlation to a particular part of your body as well. Now, I am not a reflexologist, but it is very interesting. So just notice that when you are giving your foot a little bit of care and attention, if you notice any sensations in any other part of your body as well. And when you've given that foot a nice little rub, we're going to go on to the other one as well. So just taking your other foot into a position that is comfortable, be it in front of you or up on your leg, and just give that foot a little bit of a massage as well. We spend so much time on our feet, so it's only right that we give them the care and attention that they deserve. So from our feet, we're just going to come on to our wrists briefly now. This might seem a very, very strange stretch for your wrists, but it is so good. So what we're going to do is take our hands and we're going to place them, the backs of the hands, alongside our body, tucking our fingertips into the armpits. Stay with me here. Honestly, it's a good stretch. So our elbows are out to the side, and all we're going to do is bring our elbows down, and this stretches down through the backs of the hands. It's more of a hand stretch actually, backs of the hands and into the wrists as well. It is a very effective stretch, especially if you're spending a lot of time typing or on your phone. It is a gorgeous stretch for the back of the hands. And obviously you can do this whenever you need to, whenever the hands are feeling a little bit tight. Just tuck them into your armpits. You may get a few strange looks, I'm not going to lie, and just draw those elbows back and down. And then from here, Lola, you may have to move. We're going to come onto our knees. So if you have a blanket, this is ideal for just resting your knees on. And we're going to sit back on our heels to begin with, and then tuck our toes underneath us. So we're sitting on our heels, toes are on the floor, and we're stretching down through the soles of the feet. Lift the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back and down, give them a little shrug, maintaining that yoga posture, that lovely length through the spine, softness across the chest, and feeling that stretch down through the soles of the feet. It may feel a little uncomfortable, and if that's the case, obviously just bring yourself down, have a rest, and then see if you can come back onto the balls of the feet. If you can hold it for about 5 to 10 breaths, that would be great, but any length of time would be good on an area of the body that is often neglected. And while we are sat on our heels, on the balls of the feet, we can just begin to rotate into the wrists as well. Just mobilizing through the wrists, rotating one way, rotating the other. And then taking one hand, hold the fingers and see if we can draw the fingers back towards the forearm. So stretching down through the wrist here. We're actually going to do this on all fours in a minute, this variation of this posture, and the same on the other side as well. Lola, you are being very, very needy today for some reason, aren't you? Enjoying the wrist and ankle stretch. Okay, so let's take ourselves off the balls of the feet. You can keep your rolled up blanket under your knees if you want to. As we make our way onto all fours, let's give the feet a little bit of a rest. So just let the tops of the feet relax on the floor here. And we're going to focus on the wrists. In our all fours position in downward facing dog, we have the fingers facing forward. So this time, we're going to face the fingers towards the body. Now we can do one hand at a time, or we can do both together, depending on how that feels. If you want to add a little extra, you can tuck your toes and bring your bottom back slightly. That is quite an intense stretch on the inside of the wrist, so be very mindful of how your body is feeling in this position. Or obviously we can take the feet back and just do one wrist at a time. Let's turn the fingers forward now and then turn them into each other. So all we're doing is moving our hands, moving our wrists and our forearms into different positions, positions that they wouldn't necessarily always naturally fall. And from the inside, we can turn them to the outside as well. All the while, if you want to come into a little bit of a stretch for the back of the feet, we can do that as well. And one last stretch for the feet, just to finish off. It's more for the ankles, this one. So I'm just going to move the blanket out of the way a minute. Oh dear, Lola, you're not really with us today, are you? So we're sitting back on our heels with our feet flat to the floor. Now, depending on your genetic makeup of your bone structure of your feet, this might not be comfortable or available to everyone. But all we're going to do is just rock ourselves back onto the tops of our feet. So if you have quite a curve on the top of your feet, this isn't going to happen for you. So please, please don't force it. So we're just resting back on the tops of the feet, maintaining that length through the spine, maybe relaxing the hands on the top of the legs here. If it's super uncomfortable, then please, please don't do it. Listen to your body. It is a lovely stretch for the tops of the feet coming into that position, but we can come into it another way if you choose, just by returning onto all fours, taking our leg out behind us and just pressing the top of the feet to the floor. So you're extending that leg behind you, pressing the top of the foot to the floor, and you're getting a stretch down through the front of the ankle there as well. So please don't force yourself into any position that your body does not wish to make. So I hope you enjoyed that short stretch for our wrists, our ankles, the soles of our feet. And if you do have problems with your wrists, which means weight bearing isn't great for you in a lot of yoga poses, then I've put a link to a wrist-free yoga practice on the top of the screen as well. So check that out as well. Thank you very much for joining me for this short stretch today, and I will see you on the mat again very soon.